This is how it is.
Yeah, there
We
you go.
should do a karaoke show.
Karaoke.
Yeah, we don't need the intro. We have Mephisto.
This is how it is with pop culture.
This is how it is.
I told you that's how it is.
Yeah, there you go. Now do it.
This is how it is.
With Pop Culture Minefield. Not enough reverb.
How it is. This is how it is.
How it is.
This is how it is. This is how it is. This is
Oh,
how
so
it
that's
is.
how it is. Okay, I get it.
Yep, that's how it is.
Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
I've got 5 terrorists going southeast on Bakalakadaka Street.
2 monkey hookers and a racist dwarf. I think I'm heading home. Yeah?
Okay.
I swear to God, the way he says that, it's like it sounds like he's supposed to be saying manky, but it sounds like he's saying monkey. 2 monkey.
You did say
hookers.
monkey.
No.
In the script,
mean-
it's mangy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's British, so
He's Irish.
He's Irish.
And he's saying
English, that's what.
He's saying monkey, monkey, and it sounds like monkey, but it's monkey. And
Yeah, I know.
They,
That's the
they
Irish.
say I can and not I can. The A is just different in English people.
So happy Friday, everybody! We survived another work week,
Almost. I still have tomorrow.
almost, and the standard work week, Monday through Friday. Anima. Not
I don't know
everybody's
what that
special.
You mean
Not
you mean
everyone's
Sunday to
special
Thursday?
like you and me.
It's Sunday
That's
to
your fault.
Thursday.
Yes, Sunday to Thursday.
I was a waitress. I didn't know weekends until this job now.
Well, look, we've got Gambit in the house who pretty much posted the entire discussion of what we're going to be talking about
Yeah.
in the chat, which is why I said to him, I said, where's it at? Where is it? It's we'll be talking about all of that. Way to spoil the show.
You know why I'm here. I'm here to give you the lowdown on everything that is not in IMDb.
Okay. And then, of course, and I hardly ever use IMDb unless I have to, or Wikipedia. I try to memorize, and I already have that encyclopedic brain for cinema. But we've got Tom Baker here, too. This is one of the films that he's been wanting, and I wanted to do it anyway because I love this movie. It really inspired my short story, St. Thomas, which I wrote in '87. And I've been redrawing it. I've got about 8 pages of it done of the 12-page comic. And it was heavily inspired by this movie and the book, because I read the book. I was really grateful that one of my dad's best habits with me was reading books together. And it started out with him reading to me, and then I would read to him, and we'd switch back and forth each time we would do a book, like Prophecy by David Seltzer, the guy who wrote The Omen. And that was his warning about these paper mills that are dumping chemicals into water and how it mutated this giant grizzly. Wade's here. Wade's in the house. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Wade.
And not only Wade, we have Regis.
Regis is here. What is
And
up,
Penny.
Mon ami?
Regis Philbin, back from the dead.
Back from the
my
dead.
And we have
Zoe
Penny.
Regis. No, this is, of course, Emmanuel's husband, Reg. So welcome to the show, Reg. Hope you're going to enjoy the show today. Of course, Penny is here. Anybody else jumping in? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody.
Where's Keith?
I called him. He didn't answer. That means he's sleeping hard, or he's sleeping well hard. I don't know. One of those things.
Oh my God.
Let it slide.
Are you okay, Martin? It sounded like you had a stroke.
You you are gonna cause me stroke one of these days.
We are going to be talking about a great film, and you know the saddest part of this movie is the star of this film was already on his countdown to his death at this point, and it's kind of sad. He did one more movie, Avalanche Express, with Lee Marvin, and that was the last one. He managed to wrap the film before he died, and of course I'm talking about Robert Shaw. And he had bought a house in Ireland. He had lost a wife the year before they started shooting this film, and she OD'd. And I, I've read a lot of articles about it, that it may have been an accidental, but it's believed that she overdosed on purpose, and it left him devastated, and his drinking doubled.
Oh,
And he was already an alcoholic, Robert Shaw. And it led to, I'm sure you've heard of the stories of the shit that went on when they made Jaws.
Oh yeah, he was drunk during all the filming.
Yep.
And still managed to do that monologue. Wow.
Well, when you're a great actor, you can great act even when you're drunk for the most part. Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris proved that. But it's just sort of, I don't know, it's just sort of sad that, and this is what happens when I watch a film with Robert Shaw. Immediately, I think is how long of a clock does he have? And he had bought a house in Ireland. He had remarried, and he'd only been married 2 years. They had a child together, and he got a flat tire on the way home, and he got out to fix the flat tire and died on the side of the road.
heart attack, right?
Massive heart attack.
Yeah.
And it was all, even though, look, yeah, it was a heart attack. The fact is his chronic alcoholism had impacted his body. And it was wearing the body out. It's the same thing that happened to Lee Marvin. Yeah, I know. Both of them, absolute drunks, Lee Marvin and Robert Shaw. You get two major movie stars that are both alcoholics in a movie together. And I do plan on doing that film, watching it with Anima and discussing it on here. But I am really curious because I've never heard what happened. Now, you've heard lots of things like on the film The Professionals, Lee Marvin and Burt Lancaster got into physical altercations. It got so bad. It got physical between them.
Wow.
And it just, it was his drinking. It was his drinking. And the fact is, look, he suffered from severe PTSD, and I think it was undiagnosed and untreated.
So he self-medicated.
He self-medicated like so many people do. So many veterans do.
I know, it's so sad.
With, as far as like with Robert Shaw's drinking, I think that his drinking got bad while he was married to his second wife. And when she died, I think that really just sort of set him off. And from that point forward, he had an hourglass to his death. It had been flipped over. That's it. When those sands run out, he was gone. And it's sort of sad. And his son has actually been doing a play about the making of Jaws. And that, I think it's all about that one night when they shot that scene. The around the table in the boat. Oh, yes, Gambit. They absolutely brawled. And it led to an incident on the film where they're going to do a train stunt in the film. And Lancaster was planning to do his own stunt on it. And then all of a sudden, last second, Lee Marvin's like comes on the set. He's drunk. And he's already like saying that he wants to do some kind of stunt. He didn't even know what stunt it would be. He just wanted to do stuff because he was wanting to one up Burt Lancaster.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, and it led to a situation one time with one of the guns, because one of the fights they got into on the set, it wasn't just with him, it was with Spiegel, the director, and they were using anachronistic guns in the film, and Lee Marvin got pissed about it. He says, we're doing a period film and we're using weapons that didn't exist when it was happening down there on the border of Mexico, going into Mexico. And Burt and the director are like, that doesn't matter. It's all about looking good. And that pissed Lee Marvin off. And it was a miserable. I have read everything I've ever read about that film was a miserable experience. And you find things out like this, like even with the Magnificent Seven, how miserable an experience it was between two of the actors, because Steve McQueen and Yul Brynner didn't get along, and Steve just kept one-upping him all the time. Little things. It wasn't like Lee Marvin where he was wanting to do grandiose things. He would do little things, like right when Yul Brynner would be delivering his line, he'd start fiddling with his hat in the background and put his hat back on. Just little shit like that drove Brynner crazy. And you find out stuff. Now, this film wasn't wrought with that kind of tension. And from what I understand, it was a pretty seamless shoot. But it had so many cool things that happened on this film, because one, they got to use the real blimp for a lot of it. And then they had to build a section of the blimp. They built an entire nose cone and the undercarriage with the
And the
pilot
tail?
part. Yeah.
I suppose.
I think the tail was built too, because he had to,
Yeah.
because he had to do that scene. So they built a good section of this fucking blimp as a prop, a giant full-scale prop. Plus, they had a miniature prop, which you only see in one scene. It's right as it's going into the field is a composite shot. The rest of it is like real. And they actually had this film during the 10th Super Bowl. And I fucking love that, because like watching the movie, I kept going, oh, I remember that play.
Well, you see a real game and real teams, because every other movie that has a Super Bowl in it, it's made up and it's fake teams. And this is the real shit. And they had to disguise the movie cameras as TV cameras with the CBS logo, because they just were all over the place. And you can't have that on TV and have movie cameras there. That would have been weird.
Right. And but the thing is, like, the director, Frankenheimer, had said that this could have been a World Series. It could have been a World Cup soccer match. It wouldn't have mattered. That's not the story here. The story is what's going on and how they're going to use the audience, the people in the stadium, as targets to make this big, bold move. And Frankenheimer was talking about this shit, and the book came out. And by the way, Thomas Harris wrote the book. Did everybody know who that is here?
Nope.
Nope.
He gave us Hannibal Lecter.
Oh.
Same author. And this was his first foray into global terrorism. And I love the fact that you have a mix here with Fritz Weaver's FBI and Robert Shaw and his buddy who gets murdered early in the film are Mossad. And even though they don't call him Mossad, I know that the name was known at this time. I don't know why they didn't do it, but they referred to him as Israeli military intelligence.
It's not really. Israeli military intelligence is not Mossad.
I know, but that's what they call him in the book, but it's clearly what they're trying to say. And I don't know why he didn't just say Mossad.
I find the term military intelligence funny.
They used to call it the Institute, because Mossad, if you translate it into English verbatim, is institute. It's the Institute of Covert operations.
Yeah.
No, the Institute for International Operations.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know that really it took its true form while Golda Meir was in. And Golda Meir, of course, was famous. And it should be mentioned that the terrorist organization in this film, there's two of them. You have the Palestinians and you have the European end. And the European end represents Black September. And while the others represent the PLO. And
Black September and PLO are the same organization.
they're tied in. All
They're
is
not tied in.
Black
They're the
September,
same. They're just different names.
It's the European. The Black
Branch.
September was the European branch of it. That's a good word for it, branch.
Essentially,
Because
it's the same thing. You know why it's called Black September, right?
Yeah.
It's because of something that happened in Jordan, to be fair. It's when the PLO, or not PLO, the Palestinians were butchered heavily by the king of Jordan, the father of the current king of Jordan. That's why they don't want to take him in now. Part of the reason. It's all blood feuds and shit.
Oh, it's all about feuds. It's really what it is. I mean, it's all about personal feuds. And the thing that's funny is when you find the left going, feuds are so stupid, but they'll support organizations that support feuds.
Oh, don't get me started. I'm pretty fucking mad in the last couple of days.
Yeah, you and me both, and we don't need to get political.
Yeah, no.
I know.
We're not. I'm just know that I'm seriously upset. Like seriously. I never had a reason to, but I'm seriously upset. Not because of what was revealed, but because of what was revealed. Not because who was doing it, just because it was revealed.
U.S. aid is evil. The way it was run. I don't think the organization was meant to be evil because it's been around for a while. But what they've done with it over the last decade is fucking evil.
That's the problem with institutions and organizations. They tend to get corrupted with time.
Yep.
It's a little bit more than corrupted.
The Iraqi Sesame Street was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was funny. The Serbian transgender DI office was funny too. What's not funny is 168 million to Hamas organizations.
I know. What was one of them was like 26 million for concrete.
Concrete, I get because it was. We know that us as Israel gave them the concrete to build the tunnels, and we said they're going to build the tunnels and not rebuild the last time we did.
Yeah, the buildings they were going to do the underground.
They didn't build enough buildings, so the concrete went somewhere. Now we know.
Where did it go? Where? Anyway,
well, it's foundation.
Foundation.
Call it foundation.
Bonjour, mon ami. Bonjour. Good to see you, Christian.
All I'm saying is Black September technically is the PLO just undercover of something else. If you're saying they're European branch, you can call it that.
It's the European funders as well as activists too, which is what this film shows.
The de facto leader of the Black September is Yasser Arafat, which is the PLO leader.
Yeah. Well, I have a question because they seem the Japanese guy. They seem to, if I recall correctly, to mention they even have an organization in Japan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because when you see that meeting, one of the guys is a Japanese actor playing him, and then you have that incident on the Japanese boat, and that's where they show one of the things that was done by the Mossad when they hunted down some of the people from from Black September and offed them. The telephone was one of the ways they would get them on the phone, and they would make certain that that was the person on the phone. This is so and so, and he said, yeah, and they show it in the film pretty well. And then they use an audio device to trigger the bomb signal.
Martine, you probably haven't heard of Kozo Okamoto.
No.
He's the guy who went into the airport here and he shot, I think, 2 policemen and a few security guards. He killed 2 or 3 people. And I think last time we had to give away prisoners in exchange for something, we gave him away. But he was a part of it's a radical left movement in Japan that in the 70s, they were heavily connected to the NRA, the Irish NRA, the IRA, sorry, not NRA. The Irish IRA, the Communist Party in Italy, the Communist Party in Russia, they're all interconnected. And PLO and Black September and the Red Shirts and few others. They're all sort of like, they're all radicals.
The Beider Mannhof gang too in the 60s.
Same.
Extreme Red faction. Yeah.
Yeah. It happens to be, there always happens to be on the left side of the aisle. So,
and then they'll call other people fascists.
And they call other people fascists. Of
An
course they call
extremist.
No, they call
You are where fascism came from.
No, they all call everybody fascist because they're radical left. To them, everybody else is fascist and right wing and crazy.
Right.
Funny how the tables have been turning, like, all over again. It's just what goes around comes around.
Fascism comes from people trying to control the media. When you look to see who's trying to control the narrative, you've got the fascists. So getting back into this Avalanche Express, I said that a little bit ago, if you weren't paying attention again, but that was his last film. He just completed it. They hadn't even released it yet when he died. Let's see. So right, yep, absolutely. Kozo Okamoto is a Japanese terrorist in the opening of the film. Okay.
Yeah, the Japanese guy at the start of the film is modeled after Kozo Okamoto. It's not the same guy because it's the book was inspired by like real events during the 70s.
Well, it was directly inspired by the events of Munich.
Yes.
And Thomas Harris went and did his due diligent research on everybody and came up with this idea that because this was a concern. This has been a concern for a long time. I mean, that was Some of All Fears by Tom Clancy. That was what that was about. Same thing. It was the same premise as Black Sunday, that they were going to use a major sports event to set off a dirty bomb. And it was also Clive Cussler. I think it was one of his last books before he died, was on the same subject. And that one was being enacted by old imperial Japanese people from World War II that wanted to avenge themselves on the world. And they were also, again, going about it in a terrorist way. I'm sure we're going to get fucking shut down for using that word, because I think that's one of the no-no words for YouTube.
I'm sure.
Well,
it is.
They
we
have
can
so
say-
many no-no words. It's ridiculous.
You can say Terry.
Again, those who try to control narrative,
Mm.
YouTube, talking about you. I'm on your fucking streaming, but
Free
you guys
speech,
are trying
my
to
ass.
constantly well, look, privately there's no such thing as free speech. It's only the government can't intercede, but they're using politics, and that's what makes it nasty. But I do like this whole opening because you get the general idea that she is what would be referred to as an injector person, that she is somebody who is going to be sent someplace to make contact. They show the same thing with Rutger Hauer's character in Nighthawks, which we still haven't done. We got to do that movie. I love that movie.
Please.
Yeah, I really do love Stallone, Billy D. Williams, and Rutger Hauer. Come on. Rocky, Lando Calrissian, and Roy Batty in one fucking movie. Again, based on novel with Thomas Harris, who gave us, the Hannibal Lecter stories and Clarice. I do like this scene. That building reminds me of the building from the first Daniel Craig Bond film where he has to infiltrate that building. It's very similar in structure. And of course, they're watching POW films for their target. And that's Bruce Dern when his character was captive of the North Vietnamese.
And they broke him because
And he was
6
broken,
years.
and he admitted to war crimes so that they would stop torturing him.
It wasn't just torture. He was kept in a very tiny cell.
What do you think
on
that
his
is?
own.
That is torture.
That's torture, baby. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you hear torture, you think they're being violent to him.
It's
but he was
there's
kept
lots
constantly
of ways to
6
torture
years.
somebody.
Mm.
He
I know
was
that.
kept in isolation,
Yeah,
which is torture.
it was constant torture for 6 years.
So they
he's
find him
gone.
as an easy, willing target to do what they want to do here. And there he is. And most people know him from Quincy. Quincy, of course, was the Jack Klugman series in the 80s, where he was a coroner that solved crimes.
She's terrifying.
I just look at this and go, very dynamic DP. Are we saying
Phrasing.
director of photographer or photography, or we mean something else there, Tom?
Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah, Deadpool, not deep
Yeah.
penetration.
Oh,
Tom,
God.
Tom,
I mean-
you should know better. You're pouring oil into the fire here.
At least I didn't say it.
You thought it, Mephisto. Everybody knows that.
I wanted to say it so badly.
I know.
And what they're
I'm an
planning on
asshole.
doing-
Gary knows this.
Yes, well, you and I are both.
That's why you're here.
We're dicks.
We're all assholes.
Technically, we're dicks.
Yeah.
But I do like right here because right when we're making that joke, she said, "Striking where it hurts the most," which goes right along with it.
Has nothing to do with DP.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
guys.
it pretty much directly relates to that. So, what they're describing are called flechettes, and they're going to take, like we used to use ball bearings as well as nails in when we would have to do improvised claymores. You would get the plastic, you get the plastic container, and you would have to build it. And sometimes you would add things to it for more shrapnel. And that's what this is. There's like, was it 50,000, some shit like that? No, 200,000 flechettes, which are these tiny nails, and going at a very equal spread. And that leads to probably one of the best scenes in the film, where they murder this guy that's working on this farm. I think he's security. I don't know what the hell he
Oh
is.
my God. Yeah, they make you believe it's a
And
photo
they get him to
shoot, and then
stand
they
there
go
like he's
out.
posing for a picture. And actually, it's the bomb. They're going to test it on him.
They nail him.
Yeah, they nailed him. They nailed him.
Literally.
It looks beautiful though when they go inside the barn and the light comes
And all
in,
the
it's like
lights coming through this little micro hole.
stars in
Yeah.
the sky. And he even goes there because she stands there and is terrified. And he's like, "Oh my God, this is beautiful. Look at the light at your face." And she's just like, "What the fuck?"
Uh-oh. He didn't like my DP joke. Or is he
Yeah.
actually saying, "Come on, Gary"?
Oh.
Gambit is here trying to save the show, only to make it worse.
Insightful DP. Oh my god.
Don't give ammo to these people.
You
Hey,
keep forgetting
what do
they're
you mean,
military.
these people?
Martine, these two
I
are
can
from
say
the
that I'm a
military.
Latino.
They can
Now,
put
this is one of the
anything in
lesser
there.
known films by John Williams, but John Williams is the composer for this film. And of course, John Alonzo is the DP that they're talking about. Deeply penetrating cinematographer.
It
Now, she's
penetrated our
gorgeous, by the way.
souls.
Yeah, penetrating our souls. I talked to Don about this movie yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, I know that film. That's the one with that Swedish actress.
Swiss,
Yeah, the one
not
that's just
Swedish.
fucking hot." And I said, "Marthe Keller, yeah."
She's Swiss.
It's look,
She
it's a
kind of looks
conversation.
like
You don't
Sorry.
get to edit conversations from the past, Anima.
I'm just saying because
Ding,
when,
ding, ding.
when they talk about her, where she comes from and how she learned English, they say sounds like she learned it in Germany, probably
Germany.
Switzerland, and I find that funny because she's from Switzerland,
Because she is Swiss, yeah.
so they had that.
Yeah,
in
she-
And I think he
Cut-
did say Swiss.
she kind of looks like Maud Adams. I was gonna say Barbara Bach, but that's a different.
Well, that's what
Bond
Gambit
girl.
said
It's-
too. Gambit said the same thing.
Yeah, as I was gonna say Barbara Bach, he said Maud Adams, and I was like, yeah, I'm in my head it's Maud Adams, but I'm saying Barbara Bach. I was gonna say Barbara Bach.
She is gorgeous. Actually, all three of those women are beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. And the interesting thing about her is you don't know if she's acting half the time because she's an operative. But she seems to really care about this guy here that she's sleeping with. And then she seems to care about Bruce Dern in some weird psychotic way.
She's also very
And Shaw is
controlling.
really good in this film. I don't care, man. He may be Welsh, but I fucking love this guy in this movie.
This is where he spares her, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is directly echoed in my story, St. Thomas, because in that one, a misunderstanding takes place, and the girl opens the bathroom, and he's wearing classic Starlight night scope, and it blinds him temporarily. And he wasn't going to shoot her, but because she did that, he shot as a defensive mechanism, but he killed the girl in St. Thomas. But it's still inspired by this movie.
This whole scene is inspired by a real raid by Mossad, Navy SEALs, top commandos from various branches. And I think it was 72 or 73. And they said originally that it wasn't us, but after 25 years or 30 years, they kind of disclosed that, yeah, it's us. Big whoop.
Yeah, even though I don't think they were called SEALs yet, but it's the same team. It's UDE, and they were special tactics, special explosives.
They
And
were
there was
called
a lot of explosives.
not Navy. Yeah, they're Navy SEALs essentially, but yeah, they were using dinghies to get into Beirut, so they had to use some sort of a naval tactical officer or
Right.
whatever. One of those men who was in that group was Yoni Netanyahu, who died in Entebbe.
Yes.
But he
Yeah,
was
we talked
one
about
of the
that.
he was
Of
one of the
Benjamin-
lower officers in
Yeah.
that group.
We
He's the
did
brother
that
of-
movie, Raid on
He's-
Entebbe.
I know. He was there.
Yeah.
If you remember, sweetie. But yeah, he's the brother of Benjamin Netanyahu.
You pulled up his photo when we did that. So
Yep.
sad.
Good
Yeah,
looking kid, man.
So that raid that was later disclosed that was our raid was kind of the inspiration for that whole scene, even though it's very different.
Now, I wanted to comment on that scene too, because Anima and I were watching it, and oh my God, when he takes that sniper shot, the flame that came out of the end of that barrel
Was
was
huge.
so fucking huge. And
Yeah.
I said, that's not real. That is
Yeah, but
absolutely
we
a
we
hot
talked
load
about this.
bullet. It's the
We
thing in
talked
film.
about this. It's movie. It's only for movies. You have
Yeah.
to like, especially as a sniper, you have to make sure nobody sees where you shot from, or else you're dead.
You're dead. And there is a small flash, there is, but it happens so quickly that you'll turn and look and it's already gone, and that was a gigantic fucking flame, white flame that came out of the end of that barrel. And I'm like, oh my God, the load on that fucking blank must have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
And to get that flash. And the reason they do it, I've explained this before, but I never know if someone's new to the show that's not heard this, but when they shot with 24 frames per second on a film, the aperture is opened exactly the same amount of time that it's closed. So you're actually getting literally 50% of the information. And because the flash on a rifle, when you fire it, is so quick, sometimes the camera doesn't pick it up. So they discovered if you want to get the flash, you need to put a hotter load in the blank. That's why what happened to Brandon Lee was so fucking awful, because he got hit with a 44 Magnum with an extremely hot load. That was a lot of force behind it. And it's horrifying when you think about what happened to him. But so they clearly used a very hot load on that fucking sniper rifle, because it lit the fucking sky up. It was just white, not yellow, gold, red. It was fucking white. So I thought that was cool. Hey, Colonel Stauffenberg.
This chat is amazing. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we do. We have a great chat, man. We're all cinephiles, man. We love movies. And it's one thing I could sit down and do all day long is just fucking talk about movies. So the whole thing takes place around actual NFL events. And we already got rid of the AFC, right? Or was the AFC still existent then?
Super Bowl 10?
Yeah, was the AFC still
Don't
there?
remember.
All I know is this is the game where Rocky Blair.
You
got
mean
his
the
fourth ring.
AFL? The
No, the
AFL
AFC.
was not there.
Yeah, the two
That's why there
leagues.
were Super Bowl, because it was AFL and NFL joined together.
But eventually NFL bought the whole thing now.
And NFL bought the whole thing, but I think that's like
When did they buy
after
it?
Super Bowl 3 or 5, or I'm not
So
so
they
sure. I
did,
used
but this
I
time
used
they
to
did.
know all that crap.
So
Why do
one of
you
the
know
main
so much about
characters in this
football?
film is played by Bruce Dern. He is a captain of one of the captains of the Goodyear blimp. And his goal is to work with the PLO and Black September, same thing, and develop a means to deliver an explosive payload that would do the most physical damage at a major event. So his idea is to build a small speedboat, take the body of a little speedboat and fill it up with these nails and stuff along the inside, and then put plastique over top of that, and then put the boat shell back in so it would hide, be hidden. And then scoop that up onto the bottom of the Goodyear blimp, and then fly over and into the stadium and detonate it. Now there's Fritz Weaver. His character's with the FBI. There he is. Good actor right there. Most people know him from Creepshow, the movie, the first one. And he's been around for a long time. Great fucking actor, man. And here we're having a discussion about with this guy who's clearly supposed to. I really don't know why they didn't just call him Mossad or Israeli intelligence. Instead, they make him part of the Israeli military, which is just weird.
This is 77.
Yeah, from a book from 74.
Yeah, I think only in the 90s, it was kind of starting to be known as the Mossad.
So
Or
I knew
openly.
about him because of the book. And again, what you said was interesting. It means the institution.
It means, I've checked it. It's the Institution for International Affairs.
That's what Mossad means. Okay.
Yeah.
Translated.
Technically, it's even longer than that. It's International Affairs and Special Projects. It's super long. That's why it's called like the Mossad.
Yeah, just shorten it. No, Robert Shaw should have been a bigger movie star. I don't know why it took It took Jaws to finally. The guy won an Oscar, didn't he? I know he's nominated for The Man for All Seasons with Paul Scofield back in the 60s. Great fucking movie about Henry VIII's relationship with I just forgot his name. The religious leader that helped make the Anglican Church.
The Pope?
No, he was part of building the Anglican Church, the Church of England.
I think I know who you mean, but I don't remember the name.
And the problem that really started between them was because even though Henry VIII wanted his divorce and so brought about the Church of England, he was still also very devoutly Catholic, and so there was conflict. Thomas More, thank you. Thanks, Paul. So Marthe Keller is, yeah, absolutely. She's just gorgeous.
Her eyes can go so cold though. She freaks me out in this.
They picked him right for this movie, to be fair.
Yep.
I mean,
kilos of plastique is coming in.
I mean, these ladies who are like did the big transfer from being just an activist into a full-blown terrorist. These are some cold-blooded ladies.
And she's
and that's
pulling
why
these strings in the back. She finally gets.
That's
to
why
shoot
you
someone
don't.
in the ending.
You don't know if she's genuine in her reactions to things. She seems to emotionally care, but it's kind of, those are all rows of fucking nails just stacked on oh my God, that thing's horrifying.
Have you, Gary, have you ever seen a tank Fletchette shell before?
No, I've not. No.
It is crazy. So the Fletchettes themselves, let's say the industrial made ones, are hardened steel, and it's like this big, about what, an inch, and it looks like a small arrow, but it's hardened steel, and just one shell just spreads about 4,000 of these in a very tight area.
Horrifying.
You don't want to be there.
Yeah, that's horrifying, dude.
It's yeah.
I mean, I've seen the ones that are the size of little tiny. They're bigger than BBs. They're little tiny ball bearings. And
No, it's not.
We would get. No, I'm talking about the ones
they look like arrows.
But then you get these ones that look like. You've seen the anti-tank things?
Yeah, I know.
Like
I know.
3 points to it.
Yeah,
I've
it
seen
looks
those
like that.
Yeah,
But those
they're
are
scary looking.
I don't think you fire them. I mean, there's a tank shell. When it's stand up, it's literally half my height. But most of the stuff is in the middle, and the rest is just the gunpowder to push it forward. Because you have to push forward for, I don't know, a mile if you need to, and then it breaks off. It's scary. I've only seen a demonstration of it. It's insane. And then I saw the car that got hit by it. You don't want to be in that car.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. By the way, going back, yes, John Williams' score on this, not very well known, but it's a very good score. And even Anima brought it up at the end. Even though I think they overdid how long it took him to get that fucking hook connected.
What do you mean
From the
even
helicopter
I?
to
I'm
the
a fucking
blimp.
music nerd. I'm
But the
offended now.
music was just so intense, and I love the way it uses his orchestra, because you've got the long slow horns with the strings, and then the strings helping to build the tension, and then the horn blats come in, bam, 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 bam. It's just, I fucking love that shit. And Williams is oh, by the way, there's Kit from Knight Rider. That's the actor who did the voice of Kit from Knight Rider.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I, for some reason, thought you knew that. Yeah, it's William Daniels. Bruce Dern is also, he had a hard career, because his career was starting to come up when he got cast in the movie The Cowboys with John Wayne. And Wayne even told him, while they were sitting there, he says, I feel bad for you, son. It's going to be rough on you being the man who kills John Wayne on screen. And it's true. He got a lot of fucking hate mail, and it hurt his career, killing. And so he ended up taking heavy roles. And one of the first roles that really wasn't a heavy for him, even though he's kind of, was in Silent Running by Douglas Trumbull, where he's an astronaut that wants to save the what do you call it? The greenhouses on the ship, because they want to nuke them. And he's like, no, I got to save them. So he and 3 little robots take over the ship and kill all the other astronauts. Still old villain.
Not too heavy.
Yeah, not too bad of a guy. Because he cares about trees.
Man, he's one of the most evil guys in Django Unchained. And it's such a small role. It literally has like 7 lines. But it's super essential to understand why Django is what he becomes later on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dern's a good actor. I hate the movie, but he's in that remake.
Oh, I don't like Django either.
The Haunting.
That's fine.
He's in the movie The Haunting with Liam Neeson. It's a remake of the 1962 film. And
I've only seen the 62 film.
It's great. I fucking want to do that movie too. That movie is perfect. And I tell people all the time, I said, my problem with what's his name that remade it for Netflix is that he thought he could do a better job than the book, the author of the book, in telling the story. And I did not like season 1. But I loved the first movie because it is based on the book. It really followed the book. And it is such a strange film. Again, the director of that, he directed Day the Earth Stood Still, The Sand Pebbles, Sound of Music, West Side Story, and Star Trek The Motion Picture. Same director did that movie, The Haunting. Anyway, Bruce Dern is in the remake, and I thought he did a good job. I thought he was probably one of the best parts, and he's only in it a couple of times in the film. Dern's just a solid fucking actor.
Yeah.
And this is the Japanese boat that it brought over the high explosive, the C4.
And the exploding telephone.
Yep. Yeah, because he gets killed by clearly a bomb was put in there early on, because when he goes to answer the phone, because they know he's going to give up information, they blow his head off with the telephone.
We have Zax.
Which is great scene. Zax.
Yep.
Yes, this is part of Black History Month. It's too bad Keith couldn't be here, because every Sunday is Black Sunday with Keith. But I'm fun.
And
I mean, it is the Steelers winning Super Bowl 10.
Yeah, man. Franco Harris. That team was populated by so many of my heroes. Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw. That was the first Terry Bradshaw win, wasn't it?
Yep. And then you had the amazing defensive linebackers, Jack Ham and Jack Lambert.
Okay.
Who I emulated Jack Lambert in my own way of hitting. And boy, watching him hit taught me how to hit somebody.
Fists
Okay.
first.
No, in football.
Oh.
Hitting.
Oh,
well, and
fists first then.
for sex, we have this one.
Shut the fuck up, Kyle!
Clyde appeared in the film Midway.
Another one we did.
Yep. We did both versions. We did the 76
Yes.
and the new one. And I got to tell you, the new one's far more accurate.
The new one with
Yes,
the
he's
guy
so
from
good.
Deadpool.
He owns the ranch in the film. He plays the guy. And by the way, if you don't know this, that is from the biography of the actor who played the Lone Ranger. I forgot his name.
Army Hammer?
No, the original. Yeah, you saw it. I gave you the look. So anyway, he wrote in there about an experience when he took his daughter with him to the ranch. And that happened. He ran into these fucking people from Manson. And so that scene in the movie with Brad Pitt, it's based on what happened with the actor who played the Lone Ranger and his run-in with those fucking weirdos. So, and absolutely, Quentin Tarantino admits to it. Yes, I absolutely took that from that book. And that was my nod to Clinton. Oh, God, I can't think of his fucking name.
Clayton Moore.
Clayton Moore,
Gordon
thank you.
Paul.
I kept going, Clinton, it's something like that. Clayton Moore. Thanks, Paul. Hey, for a socialist, you know some really cool information.
Oh my God.
By the way, you'll love this, Paul. Robert Shaw was a proud, outspoken socialist. Not many people know. Tora has the same premise. Yep. Tarantino has said in interviews that the sequence, yeah, absolutely, he admits to it. Oh, whoa, really?
What do you mean? Hello.
So what is? Wait a minute, Gambit. What? Quentin Tarantino said in interviews that the sequence of Kill Bill Volume 1, where Daryl Hannah attempts to kill the bride in disguise as a nurse, is an homage to a similar sequence in Black Sunday. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I see that. I absolutely see that. And sadly, like we were watching it, I told Anima, I said, yeah, the minute that elevator door closed, he's dead. He's let her stand behind him. He is so dead.
I don't understand that. His suspicion of her intention, and the first thing he does is giving her his back. No.
Well, at first, Gary said like, I hope he sees her before he leaves. I hope he sees, and then he does, and it gets him killed.
Yeah, because I haven't seen this movie since I was a
damn it.
kid. I saw it in 1977. Was the last time I saw this movie, and I really
So it
loved
was-
this movie. I
It was
loved it as a
basically
kid.
First watch for you last night.
Yeah, because every 7 years you're a whole new person. So yeah, technically. But I do like this. I love this scene too. It's like, motherfucker, you're gonna tell us some information right now. And that's why they kill him, because they know he knows too much.
The way they kill him, though, man.
Oh yeah, with the explosive in the earpiece of the phone.
I'm not kidding. I have a landline phone on my workstation, and when it rang for the first time, I jumped. I'm like, I don't want to pick that up.
In fact, I shared 2 videos last night with the team that pretty much every film on both those videos I want to do, if we haven't already done them. Those 2 videos I put into the PCM management group, Martin.
I didn't have time to look at them, but Baker's on the rant
Take
here.
things to watch them later. I'm being extra sassy to her today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could notice.
It's not like I'm working a long week and then taking time to watch the stuff that we do and stay up 3 hours past my bedtime to be able to do all that shit. No appreciation here.
No.
You know what that is?
You.
The violin.
You. Jerk.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'd have a rough fucking day, a week from work and going to school, and I'd come home and I'd be talking to my dad about it, and he would just start doing that at me. And I'd get up and I'd walk out of the room so frustrated.
I want to slap you so badly right now. I would slap the shit out of you if I was next
I did that to my daughter last week. I did this. And
It's
she's,
dangerous.
and
That's
she's
dangerous
like,
to
what
do
the
to a
what are you
teenager."
what are you doing? It's like, that's the smallest violin.
Playing my heart.
And she hit me with the best of her abilities. And I was like, all right.
You deserve that.
The correct
So
answer
you
to that
guys
situation
know
is I regret
why
nothing.
he's in the hospital is because when the phone bomb goes off, Shaw's character is really close to him. So he had the shit knocked out of him. And that's why he's in the hospital right now.
Oh, man. When that scene happened and you see the head disappearing from the body, I couldn't but think about the scene from Teen America. The Jesus, titty, fucking an explosion,
Oh,
and
Jesus,
yeah.
and you
titty.
see the headless marionette fly.
Do we have that somewhere? Or did you delete
No,
that?
no, we don't have it.
Oh. We had that clip.
Yeah, we could have it for tomorrow, but not for today.
Which clip are you talking about?
That one.
The one from Team
Jesus.
America.
I
With
still
the
got it.
the guy with the vest who blows himself up.
I still got it. Hold on.
Ooh, yes.
I still got one of my other favorites, Arnold doing Hamlet.
Oh, that cannot be deleted. That needs to stay. It's too good.
Uploading now. Yeah, this is his partner. And they got a Hispanic actor playing an Israeli.
They
Yeah,
do that in NCIS.
somebody. Let me see. I think I'm not sure if what Gambit or Tom Baker that said that he was the guy, one of the guys in Blue Thunder.
Yeah. He's in Blue Thunder.
It made
He
me
was a
think of-
regular TV and film actor of the 70s, man. Late 60s going into the 80s.
That made me think of Cote de Pablo playing the Mossad person in NCIS. Same thing.
Now, I got to tell you right now, I never had in my life a fantasy of nuns and sex until this moment. Still don't. I'm just kidding.
The nuns of your childhood taught you nothing?
They taught me not to fucking like nuts.
Yeah.
So, and Kabakov, he's Polish Jewish, right? Or is he Russian Jewish?
Who?
Because I know that
That name sounds Russian.
Kabakov.
Doesn't sound Polish.
Polish, I think.
Is it
Really?
Polish?
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, Victor Campos. That's right. Yeah.
Well,
but look,
to be absolutely fair, it's kind of hard to explain, but most of the Jews that were in Morocco, Cairo, Tunisia, Libya, all the sort of, it's Africa, but it's not really Africa kind of a thing. When they immigrated to Israel and then integrated into the army, and then left and that went into the service, whether it's the Mossad or whatever. They were heavily used to infiltrate back into Arab countries like Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran. Not really Iran at the time because it was pretty friendly before the revolution. But they were used as deep undercover operatives, gathering information rather than doing assassination stuff. There were few and far between. Some of them we know, some of them we don't know. One of them in Syria got caught, hanged, and I don't think they even returned the body. So yeah.
There's a line here where he says, I'm going to wait for it. Anybody who has a nervous breakdown has got something wrong with them. And he says that to him as he's walking away. By the way, here's the clip from the telephone exploding.
What the hell?
Prepare to die!
Jesus, titty fucking.
Christ!
Now, what's great here is he does spot her, but then turns his back on her.
Yeah, that's a thing that I can understand.
It's a bad mistake.
Some people are dumb.
He
I'm
should
just
be
joking.
though.
I was just joking. Anyway, my point was, by the way, because I'm very tired. My point was their look is they're very tan. Let's just say that. I don't want to go into race thing, but they're very tan. So their complexion is light brown. So you could mistake them for a Spanish person, but it's all about imagery.
There he goes, turns his back on her. And then I saw him like, yeah, he's dead the minute that door closes.
The second the door closed, she said, "Surprise, motherfucker!"
Yeah, surprise, motherfucker. Eat some fries, motherfucker. Sephardic. There you go. Halen Place is here. What's up, buddy? Oh, and Gambit brings it up too, because you have Ethiopians who are Jews.
Yeah, it's about 5% of the population of Israel.
Because they have that. Where is it? Where they say they have the Holy Grail down in Africa? Ethiopia.
Not the Holy Grail. The Ark.
Not the Holy Grail. I'm sorry, the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a church for some reason, but it's not Addis Ababa. It's
fascinating, and some of those
they're adamant
from radiation poisoning.
Yeah, they're adamant that first of all there is one keeper, and they kind of switch him over when the old keeper is dead, supposedly from radiation. But as soon as you become a keeper, you're not allowed to get out. You're in the facility, and you're not allowed to get out.
The fuck?
And it's heavily guarded.
Yeah, shit's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Now this dude, everybody recognizes him as Rothman from The Godfather. But this is a good scene because he knows that he's the one who sold him out.
Everybody but me, because I've never seen The Godfather.
It's a story about Italian immigrants trying to open a restaurant in Little Italy.
And eating a lot of cotton.
People think it's about organized crime, but it's really just about a very close family. It's family. It's a family movie. Everybody should watch it.
It's a mafia movie. That's all I know, but I've never seen it.
It's not mafia.
It's
There's no
it's
such
a
thing.
Anima. It's a quick and easy 3.5 hour watch.
It is. I'm gonna tell you
Made for
something,
me,
man.
then. Made for me.
My favorite cut of The Godfather is like it's 7 hours. It's
Jesus.
part 1 and part 2 at one movie, and I fucking love that cut.
I can't.
They
do
had it
that.
on Netflix, man.
I prefer number 2
Jesus phrasing.
just because of the story.
You like to part 1 and 2? What would you
I
say?
like
phrasing?
The Godfather Part 2. I prefer to Part 1.
What was the
just-
phrasing she was talking about?
Because he said I like in number 2.
Oh,
I
I
did
like
say.
number 2.
Oh, I like number.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you're disgusting.
Dude,
Who
you're Backdoor Gary's
works-
show.
Who works for number 2? What is that from,
Yes.
Martin? Come on.
Oh, that's Austin Powers, the first one.
Yeah. Courtesy
Anyway,
flush,
I
man.
prefer Part 2 to Part 1 just because of the story told. You
Yeah, be careful around
disgusting,
Anima, man.
diseased Goonergate motherfuckers.
It was Anima.
It's all Anima. Man. She's gotten so good at this, man, catching the phrasing. Oh, man.
It keeps me from falling asleep. I'm so tired. But I'm still catching shit like that. I'm sorry.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the stream to be over and Gary's like, "Oh, young grasshopper, you done very well today."
Here's the poor guy that
Yeah, here's this poor sap that he thinks they're there for something else. They're there to test this camera, and he goes, "Well, can I help? You know, what can I do for you?" And he goes, "Here, you need to test it. I can pose right here." And he goes, "Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, that'll be perfect."
Why don't
So
you eat these
excited.
flechettes for me?
even
I
the
never
crazy
seen anything
even the
with
crazy
this
chick
one.
looks at him and says, "What? No." I said, "Yeah, don't worry."
It's just finally something exciting is happening on this farm, and it's sad. It's so sad.
Man, I work out here for sometimes months before I see anybody.
It's a
First
very
people I
remote
see
place.
murder me.
Good thing is it happened so fast. He probably barely realized.
Oh, he was
but
probably dead instantly.
yeah. Oh, now even Gambit is telling me what I have to watch.
Well,
Yeah.
but it's a good suggestion. Everybody should watch Godfather 1 and 2.
don't
I
have
like
time.
3, but I understand that it's not for everybody.
Well,
Well,
I
you're
have 2
s-
weeks of
we
vacation
already
coming
s-
up, so
Yeah, we're already said you're a sick degenerate, man. It's fine.
I think
well.
the film would have worked better if they had gotten one on a rider. And instead, we got that insufferable daughter of Francis Ford Coppola who can't act.
I don't think she's the problem, Gary. I'm pretty sure the main story is just god
Well,
awful.
he
Look at that
made some
wall.
mistakes. The first
Yeah.
mistake was not having Duvall back. He showed up at
Mm.
Duvall's house, supposedly to negotiate that, but Duvall said the amount of money that he expected to be paid for the role, Coppola didn't want to pay it, and instead showed up at his house to get his fucking spaghetti sauce recipe.
what?
Yeah,
And
Coppola's
Duvall
crazy.
got really pissed. He was offended by that he did that. That Coppola was playing dirty baseball. So yeah, there were problems. Look, Coppola's an outstanding writer, but at a certain point, I think he lost the ability, and I think it started when he made Godfather 3. Here's a guy who has played so many Russians in movies. Russians and Germans.
Yeah.
Ethel Mermans.
Gambit, we already have reviewed those 2 movies. You should go to our history and watch those reviews because we're awesome,
Yep.
if I may say so.
Horse Tin of Navarone is one of our most watched videos.
It is, yeah.
That is such a
Great
fun movie.
movies.
I do like that film. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Guns of Navarone, but I do love that fucking movie. And I think Edward Fox owned that character better than David Niven did.
Hmm.
Wait,
You
what are
know
talking about?
Tarantino. You know
Oh.
Tarantino is a master of the master of
Beat?
film, where inside Pulp Fiction you had a Guns of the Navarone reference.
In which one? Kill Bill?
No, in Pulp Fiction, Samuel L.
Yes.
Jackson's character, he mops up the Marvin's head and skull and bits from the car, and he's in an argument with John Travolta, and he's like, "What am I doing? What the fuck am I doing here, picking up this N-word skull? You should be out of here because, like." In any words you say, my hands are Superfly TNT. My hands are like the guns of the Navarone. In fact, you should be out here picking up this guy's skull. We're changing seats.
Yeah, Forrest 10 from Navarone was actually written right after the movie. He was already working on it because it was such a hit. Guns of Navarone. He was writing Forrest 10 from Navarone. And Forrest 10 was supposed to be shot in 1968. And something happened. And it kept getting delayed. And the delay lasted long enough that Peck and Niven were too old to reprise the roles. So they ended up having to recast everybody when they finally made it. I grew up here in America, and so I've always loved the Goodyear blimp because living near DC, we used to see it all the time whenever there was going to be a home game. Them in Baltimore, Maryland. There he is in front of the Lincoln Memorial. So now we learn her
A
history.
desert refugee camp, Gaza 49. It still is.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And here's something funny. Anima didn't know what a blimp was. And
I never heard that word before.
And I said,
I know what the
blimps
Zeppelin is,
are dirigibles. And she didn't know what a dirigible was. I'm like, the Hindenburg, Zeppelin.
The Zeppelin.
Yeah, that's the word that I know. I never heard you weird American terms for it.
Yep.
It's not American, it's English too.
Yeah, I've never heard the word blimp until I knew about football, American football.
Yes, see? And I don't care. I will never understand
No, well,
I always called it a Zeppelin. Yeah, I always called it a Zeppelin.
Watch it with Gary, and
I knew that about the word blimp when I started studying the World War II, and
Because that's when they started using it. Was blimps
yes,
in 1942.
to build the port in Normandy.
Yep, been around for a long time.
And I asked the same thing.
And it's not just an American term; it's an Anglo term. It's used by the English as well.
I've never heard.
Now, this is where you see her getting emotional, and this is what I'm talking about. It's like her character is hard to read, but I think she really cares about this guy.
No, she cares that he can deliver her vengeance.
She cares about the mission because.
But I think there's a little bit of her. You're not listening to me. I think there's a piece of her that gives a shit about him because of what he has been through. And I think that there is a connection between the two of them. And that's why that scene is so somber when he finally tells her before they're going to go die, I love you. And she sits there and he just looks at him. Not blankly, she's just looking at him. And I thought that was an intense moment. And it's what's so weird about this movie is, God damn it, the writing made you give a shit about these two characters who are fucking evil. But these kinds of people believe in what they're doing. So they are people. They believe that what they're doing is justified and it's right.
He believes it because he's so broken. He really
Well,
thinks
and
he's
he has
ignorant.
this line where he says, "They have made me pay and pay and pay, and this is my one chance to make them pay." Society. He wants to make somebody suffer for all of his suffering.
But she, at this point, she just wants to make the mission a success. And when she's urging him to go to his meeting with the psychologist, that's not for him to get better or anything. She tells him to his face,
He needs him to be working.
One
She
bad
needs him
report,
functioning.
and you're not allowed to fly anymore. It's all the mission. There might be something behind that, but her main motivation is this mission and not caring for him.
He's a means to her ends.
Yes.
That's all.
And maybe good in the sack, I don't know. There's something going on between them, but most important thing is this mission.
I'm going to find a picture of her today.
Oh, she's 80.
Holy shit, she is still gorgeous. She's 80 and gorgeous. And again, you look at Robert Shaw, and this does not look like a guy that's got a fucking time bomb in his body.
No, not at all.
51 years old, man.
That's what makes it so dangerous, though. I lost my best friend at 20 years to an aneurysm. Nobody knew it was there. She was playing handball as a professional. She had regular checks. Then one day she gets a headache, and by the evening comes, she's unconscious, and the next morning they turn off the machines.
So this is an interesting scene, by the way, because the clerk gives it away if you pay attention. Because when he walks on me, any messages for me, he goes, no, and then he looks to his right. And I've always thought he did that on purpose. It wasn't an accident.
I didn't catch that.
I believe he was telling him where they were. I think that maybe they thought they were trying to make it look like he just inadvertently looked over, but that's not the kind of look that he gave. Of course, hiding behind a girl, a child.
Typical PLO.
Yeah. Hiding behind others to do their work.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how everybody in this movie carries revolvers. It's like, oh, worst thing to carry in a fight.
Why though?
Why? You got 6 shots, and then you got to reload.
Well, not in a movie, Gary. We all know there's more than 6 in a movie.
Yeah, what was it we were watching? Yeah, this one.
The fact that
everybody he obviously fires more than 6 shots.
It's not about the weird part is the range on that 38.
Oh, he's
so
low.
50 yards. Yes.
That range is not good. And it's not a long barrel too, it's a short barrel 38. It's so crazy.
Snub nose, as we call him here. I think that's pretty much an American term there. Snub nose.
Yeah, probably. I haven't even seen one in real life, but I've seen several like Berettas and Desert Eagles and stuff.
I'm a 1911 45 ACP, man. That's me. That's my weapon. And I like the extended magazine. Thank you. There he is, humping the ground. And I said to Anima, I said, well, he's empty. There's no way he has enough bullets. He's fired more than 6 shots.
Oh, movie magic.
He used the force.
That's what I meant.
The horse?
Well, I thought this was self-deletion by cop. So I figured
That's what it looks like.
But then he turns to Fritz here, He says, I should have let him shoot you. And I'm like, that guy didn't have any more bullets. What are you talking about? Not in a real world fight. That guy was
Yeah, but the script says so, Gary.
what we refer to in the military as he was carrying a dry hole. Desert Eagle? I don't think so. That is such a massive weapon, dude. That thing is crazy big. But
And
a lot
it
of people
jams
think
like
because
crazy.
it says, they say, well, it's 50 caliber. It's like, it's not the 50 caliber you're thinking.
Hollywood is always showing us the Desert Eagle and the Spas 12. Worst weapons ever. Unreliable as hell.
And you know, he's walking around during the actual Super Bowl, him and Fritz Weaver, walking around the game, looking everywhere but at the game. And I went, that must have been fucking hard. To be there at the Super Bowl, not watch the thing, but have to fucking act and look everywhere else. When one of the fucking greatest Super Bowls of all time was right there. Fucking Pittsburgh beat fucking Dallas, man. And of course, with the ending with the big crash and everything, I remember telling Dad, because we went to see he took me to the movie, and I said, that didn't happen in the game. We saw that game. That didn't happen.
Oh, that's the Mandela effect.
Nowadays, the creative pool is too small. Yeah. In fact, the latest from, what is it? Dude. Oh, I can't remember the channel, but they've got, I just forgot his first name. He was the chief, the captain, the chief in Super Troopers, English actor. Cox is his last name.
Brian.
And yeah, Brian Cox. Brian Cox is president of the world, and he's going to either veto or sign all these things that they think should be laws. The Dude Bible, YouTube channel, and so one of them was that. So it's a good video if you haven't seen it. I just watched it last night, so I can see if we can go find it.
Oh, do we have the shenanigans video here?
I love that one too. Yeah.
No, it must be in other studio. Oh, here's when they're both about to have their nervous breakdown.
Lad Bible. That's it. Here it is.
Oof. Yeah. That's
You guys,
I would say
this is really good. Brian Cox, Mr. President.
he was the first Hannibal Lecter.
Yes,
Remember? But they call him
I am
Lector.
too. Thomas Harris is he was the original. Here, I'll put it in our private chat too. This is the video I watched last night. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like Brian Cox.
Notoriously, Tom. Notoriously less pretentious.
There's, it's true. They were less pretentious because it was more studio oriented. And you had one guy running the show, and they often had just one assistant, which led to some interesting conflict over time. Manhunter is my favorite version of Red Dragon. And we need to do it. We need to do it on here. I've just been working up to it with Anima, trying to get her to watch it with me.
Watch what? Watch what, Gary?
Manhunter.
The story about the fictional
Interesting.
story of the guy. It's loosely based on the profilers from the FBI who came up with the term serial killer.
It's the first appearance of Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal
Yep.
Lecter. And
Oh.
Brian Cox plays him in the film. It's different than the way Anthony Hopkins did it.
Have you ever talked to me about this? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
talked to you about it. There are two versions of the film. The first one, Manhunter, which has a great, again, Tangerine Dream soundtrack. Michael Mann directed it. And then they redid it and put more stuff into it at the beginning, showing the character's story arc and his relationship with Hannibal Lecter and how he was involved directly and got wounded, almost killed, trying to capture Hannibal Lecter. And Anthony Hopkins reprised his role. And it's called Red Dragon, same as the book. I got to tell you, Ralph Fiennes was really fucking good as Dollar Hyde.
He's good in everything.
I've seen Conclave last week.
Yeah,
Was really good up until the very
that
end.
third act.
Falls
Everybody
apart.
says exactly the same.
It's not the third act that does it. It's the revelation of what happens at
Yes.
the very end. That is what kills it. Because the reason for everything,
This is why I watched
the
this
big
movie.
secret was fucking dumb.
You thought it was going to be a murder thing or something, and you find out instead it's this. This is what this
Even
is all about.
even if it wasn't a murder thing, even if it was to shake up the thing, but not for that particular reason, is just to do a full-on shake-up. It's why?
Why? Exactly.
But why though?
Why? It made no sense.
No.
It was just dumb. And they think that it was clever and really it's important. This is important. It's like, no, it's not. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous premise. When you finally get to the mystery and find out what it's all about, you're like, this was all over that? Dumb.
And
I
I
said,
liked the movie. It was great shot. It was great drama, acting. Ralph Fiennes just carries the entire freaking movie.
Really good.
He just carries the entire movie. And on one hand, he has to be stoic. On the other hand, he really wants to cry over this dead pope. And the reason,
Well, at one point, don't you think that he was murdered by one of them? There's this one point where I'm like,
I was waiting for
what's
like
going on
surprise me. Do something great. Even I kind of realized from the very beginning who's going to be the next pope. Pretty obvious to me, but that whole process of going up, down, you're going through a roller coaster of emotions of where you're going, and that's what kept you interesting. It's a 2-hour movie, but it kept you interested. And the reason for your interest was,
well, you was surprised, not pleasantly, but you were surprised.
technically I was surprised. It wasn't really a surprise. It was like, in surprise, you're like, I'm shocked. I wasn't shocked. I was just disappointed.
Hearing a really good song. You've got a great song. Okay. This person's singing it live. And you get to the last note of that song that nails it and ends it, and they're off key.
By a country mile.
Right. It's just like, that's what that felt like. You just sort of like, it's like a dead stop. It's a dead stop, and you go, and the sound you make is, it's not, it's,
Sorry, I kind of derailed that, but
No, but
I
it's
watched
true.
it. I watched it because of Gary. I was going to watch it regardless because it's one of those 2024 movies that I kind of wanted to watch anyway. Like Nosferatu. Finally watched that one. I'll give my opinion later.
I got to tell you, I liked it. I liked what he did. And I love the cinematography. They took, this is proof that the shit they keep putting out on digital, where they turn all blue into teal, aqua blue, and all the skin colors have an orange tint to it. Proof that you can fucking still make digital look like a movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm so tired of this practice. Tom and I were just bitching about it yesterday on Twitter. You know, it's like this is now, it's a thing that they're doing this. I love this scene.
Yeah.
He's dead upstairs. You know, they killed him. And
Mhm.
he's coming in here and goes, oh, yeah, man, he's got a finger in the eye by some hooker. He's seeing a doctor right now. Yeah, I'm here. Well, are you going up? He goes, well, I'm in my uniform.
The thing is, everybody knows him well enough to say, yeah, that probably happened.
That probably happened. He's a bit of a
Yeah,
party
that
guy.
crazy kook.
Kooky guy. And the Israelis, you know, when he's questioning that guy before he gets killed, you know, he says, I hear you like to go out on the weekend on your speedboat. And he goes, I don't know who you been talking to, boy. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know where you get your information from. And they're like, we're sorry, you were the wrong guy. You're not the one we're looking for.
Doesn't he even say, I can't swim? What would I do on a
Yes.
speedboat or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So completely
Now, I
wrong.
pointed out that there's some cool things in here because you'll see some of the bicentennial memorabilia because it was shot in 76. You'll see the giant red and blue disconnected star. That was the logo for the bicentennial. Yes, I brought that up. And in fact, somewhere, if you use a microscope or something, you might be able to find me in that film because my football team was there. We were all there on the shooting at King's Dominion for that scene.
So
in
you
Roller Coaster.
didn't see Robert Shaw running?
No, Robert
the
Shaw
sideline?
wasn't in that movie. That was George Siegel. No, you're
Oh,
fucking
I thought
movie,
you were
weren't you?
talking about this one.
Now, the thing that's really cool here is they built sections of this thing. I don't think that's the real. Now that I know what they were doing, I don't think that was the real Goodyear blimp. I think that was their full-size prop because it was fairly accurate.
I'm pretty sure they couldn't have had it for the whole time. But
No.
to be honest, I've been wondering how they did it when it flies into the stadium and it's really close over the people. And then we watched that video before the show.
And that was the
they
crane.
talked about-
Crane
yeah,
holding that large
crane
full-scale
holding the
prop
front
going
piece, yeah.
right over them. It's fucking crazy. There's only one, and I'm not totally sure, but I'm going to watch it again here. There's Rocky Blyer, number 20. That's Rocky Blyer. Yeah, you can tell I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. That's Jack Ham, number 59.
When did you say it's the Super Bowl this year? This Sunday?
Yeah,
This
this
Sunday,
Sunday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There goes date night.
Shut up.
He makes me watch that thing, and I'm
You will
going to
never, you
for
will
it. I'm
never be a,
sorry.
you will never be a football widow, baby. Never.
And what?
I know more women. Franco Harris there. Terry Bradshaw on the left.
I'm never going to
Does he
watch
still have hair at this point? He said football widow, meaning
Baseball.
every Sunday and Monday he's gone.
Oh,
That's what a football widow is.
Yeah.
A woman who doesn't see her husband until the game's over.
Yeah. I know that term from high-tech widows.
my problem isn't that he likes watching the Super Bowl. My problem is that I have to watch it with him.
You don't have to. You're saying it's too late at night. I'm going to bed. Good night.
No, he's making me watch it until halftime.
Grand Prix is
did it the
another
last
one of
few
his
weeks.
films. Yes. I love the movie Grand Prix. James Garner. Yeah, that's amazing that they got that, because that's all real game. There's no staging going on. That's all real football.
And he thought once word got out in LA that they were able to do that, more movies would do that, but nobody ever did. Only them. Whenever you see the
No,
Super Bowl,
because
the
2
movie
Minute
was
Warning,
15.
if anybody remembers that movie, we will do that one. Another great football film where they have a sniper up in the LA Coliseum that's going to start shooting people. Charlton Heston, all-star cast, but Heston's the main star. And they had real football players on the field, but they were fake teams.
Have you guys done Any Given Sunday?
He did not die of cancer. He died of a heart attack, massive heart attack. And it was caused from years of drinking. What was that, Meth?
Have you done Any Given Sunday?
No. That's Al Pacino.
Yeah, we're doing it this year, but later on.
There's Franco Harris. I know that ass anywhere.
Or maybe it was number 44.
44 is what gave it away. And I know somebody's out there like, how did he know that was? I know that ass anywhere. Now, this is weird. That's Roger Staubach kicking. He's punting.
I was going to say Star, but Star is like
Staubach.
50s, right?
Yeah.
Staubach. Yeah,
Staubach.
that's the Cowboys.
He's the guy who tried to ruin my hometown.
How?
He wanted to put an airport in Stafford, Virginia, and basically, we had Dulles, we had Reagan Airport nearby, and we didn't need another airport. But because he was moving to the county into the town, he wanted an airport near his home.
He needed it. Nobody else did.
And so I was a member of, including my bosses, the founders and publishers of Personal Selling Power magazine. They still the number one sales marketing magazine in the world. They headed up this thing, and I was their artist, and so I jumped right in with them because I hated it, what he was doing. You know, I'm not even sure I've seen that movie, Any Given Sunday.
Really?
And you know why? I didn't like the trailer with Al Pacino. I didn't like him in it.
It's a really, really good football movie that kind of the thing is with Any Given Sunday is it's talking about real NFL shit, but they're not playing in the NFL. They're playing in this weird made up league. So everything they say, it's all the issues that the NFL has for real, but they're doing it in a fake version of it. So it's it's all of that. Jamie Foxx is absolutely great in that movie. And Lawrence Taylor
oddly good
plays,
in so many things.
Guess what Lawrence Taylor plays? A linebacker.
Gambit says Mark Robeson and yeah, they died like within 7 days of each other. 7-8 days. They had a close death. There it is. That's the logo from Bicentennial. The year the United States was 200 years old, July 4th. Well, I imagine a lot of people have seen it, Gambit. I don't know. There was something in the trailer about Pacino that I didn't like and his performance. And for some reason, it just turned me off. I've never seen it because of it.
It's worth a watch for sure.
I like this.
I love it. It's one of my favorite football films of all time.
I want to go back. God damn it. All right. So he goes into the control booth. CBS control booth and starts demanding to know where's the blimp going, some shit like that. And they're like, "We're trying to do a fucking broadcast here." Here it is, right here. He's going into their trailer.
But they faked having problems with one of the engines or something, so they needed to go back to land and fix it. And the people that don't care, they are all about broadcasting the Super Bowl. So when a blimp goes, yeah, well, to fix something. What the fuck? Let's go on.
Well, it's just funny to me because they're like, what the fuck? Get out of here. What the fuck are you doing in here?
Let us
You know?
work.
They have no idea who this guy is. He runs in there like, like the sheriff of the town, and they're like, "Who the fuck you? Get out of here!"
And they don't care about the blimp. The blimp is just something that's flying around. It's not their concern. They're focused.
The only thing they like about the blimp is they occasionally get footage from it.
Yeah. But if it's not doing that, they don't give a. Yeah,
and I do believe it's probably one of the greatest marketing gimmicks ever made was the Goodyear blimp.
What did you call it? Torpedo titty?
No, I said it's the giant silver titty because it's all silver and it's got this nipple on the front, this red nipple, orange nipple.
Well, it reminds me of the bras Madonna used to wear early on in her career.
Yeah, torpedo titties.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Frankenheimer was a character. I really liked Frankenheimer's filmmaking. There's several directors, contemporary directors of his, like Siegel. I think he's a great director, but I think he had his head up his ass about things. But somehow he managed to get along with John Wayne and get the movie The Cowboys made. I said Spiegel, I meant. Jenkins, have you, your crew? Yeah, this is where he's trying to get everybody doing something away from the blimp so he can do what he needs to do. And that's the whole thing. The premise of this film is very simple. It's a very simple story. It's all the shit building up to it and then trying to figure out what the other guy is doing is what makes this film fun and engaging.
And they try to get people away, and then they end up just shooting everybody who's in their way.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you just smoke them? If you were going to smoke them anyway.
Right.
Because she didn't have to shoot these guys. All she had to do was fire the machine gun in front of them, and they would have stopped.
No, she finally wanted to be in.
I think she just wanted to kill somebody. Yeah. That's really what it was.
She's so evil the whole time, and now she finally gets sucked out.
Yeah, check out these big 70s cars. These are big gas guzzlers right here. About a ton and a half. Fucking Cadillacs, Pontiacs. Now, see, this isn't the real one either. This is the mock-up. Yeah, 2-minute warning. Well, 2-minute warning was, of course, clearly based on the incident at the Texas Tower down at the University of Texas in Austin. I still like the film. Heston was kind of reaching the end of the line with that one. You know, he'd been doing really good, had a great run, Earthquake, all that shit. But that film just sort of, I still enjoy it. I do like the film. Yeah, they're trying to call down that helicopter. Trying to yell under the engine. It's not the blades, it's the fucking engine. It's so fucking loud. Like, if you've been around helicopters, you know what I'm talking about. That's why I had problems with that egg video. It's like, you hear the wash of the blades, but we should be hearing the engine from where that camera is.
Well, one thing is the noise. The other thing is the wind it creates. It will just rip away the sound and blow it off. There's no way you can hear.
Tim, the clock tower. Marine defended it against all those students. Is that joke made too soon? Is that too soon? Is that joke too soon?
You use
Frankenheimer
four.
also.
Here's the 114.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
And
And that's-
Snotty joined us.
That Germany and Japan banned this movie.
They did?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm not surprised about Japan. It's Germany.
It's not unusual.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, the song just went into my head. It's not unusual.
Yep.
Love
Same
by
here.
anyone. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. I'm sorry. And once again, if I haven't said this before, I'm a huge Tom Jones fan. I love Tom Jones. And was it What's New Pussycat? Which one was it that Tom Jones didn't want to do because he thought it was a joke? And then found out, no, you need to do it. It was Burt Bacharach that sold him on it. It's not unusual, is actually what it was. It's not unusual. So not unusual, he thought was a joke. It was actually written for a woman to sing. And all he was hired to do was a demo of it. But the demo was so fucking good that the singer, when she heard it, says, I don't want to do that song. That's his song. He's owning it. So he released it. There was an old document series, Killing Couples. Oh boy, what was that? I don't remember. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, because the young lady that I know here in Springfield, she was on one of those episodes of that show. Her boyfriend for killing her mom, right here in Springfield. That was shocking. My daughter was like floored by that because she knew her too. And then she and her fiance, when she got out of prison, reached out to try to refriend some of us, and we're like, no.
You're talking about that Münchhausen by proxy case, yeah.
Yeah. God bless you. It was horrible what happened to you, but you murdered your mom. You didn't have to. There was no call for that.
But he wanted to.
She wanted to, and she got him
whatever.
to do it.
She, he, they, them, whatever.
It's
all the
What
same.
is this? No trans stuff here, my friend.
It's all the same.
A lot of rear screen projection in this film. I thought they did a really good job on the rear screen projection, although my problem with rear screen projection on these films is you can tell when it's rear screen. Just it's almost as bad as blue screen, not quite. Like right now, that is clearly like he is in front of a screen.
Good points, Nord.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah, no, they might have been a little sensitive about that.
They used to do that all the time. Right up until the late 80s. Like
they?
Different countries would ban different movies for the stupidest reasons.
They still do
too
it,
much
dude.
gore, too much corpse
China
violation.
It's still fucking funny about that shit. They'll block movies.
I mean, Ireland blocked a few movies because they were too gory or too sexy or too whatever. Just because.
That's because, Tom, in Superman, they use front screen projection, not rear screen. It's different. With front screen projection, the projector is right next to the camera, and it projects it onto the screen in such a way that the light hits right back at the camera, so it looks more natural. And it really does. It does look much more natural than rear screen. This is rear screen projection. It causes, you'll get dirty spots. It almost looks like there's a scene in here where you see too much of the sky, and it gets almost like a muddy brown color in the middle of the blue that shouldn't be there, and that's because of the brightness of the light being projected isn't bright enough to look natural, whereas front screen projection looks more natural. One of the best films to use front screen projection was 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, here's that scene that took way too long.
Yeah, trying to get that hook was ridiculously long. Like it's like it went on for a whole minute and a half longer than it should have.
And that gives you the same feeling like the scene in John Wick in the latest one where he just keeps falling
Just
down.
kept falling down the stairs. Yeah, just kept falling down the stairs. It's like, oh, come on. Come on. Then you're like, okay, he's got it this time. He's coming back down the stairs again. He'll get it this time. Nope. He's coming back down the stairs again.
Gary heard.
I hated
me.
that last one.
I was cussing him out the whole time.
I was so out of that movie. The only thing good in that film, in my opinion, the best thing in that film is the dragon
fight.
Yeah, the dragon fire shoot house scene.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really well done. It was a lot of fun.
It has moments. I like the ending of it, even though it made no sense. I like the ending of it. It's just the lead up to the end scene was so convoluted. That stair scene. By the way, I've been there. It's not that long.
I've been right there.
It's not that long.
It's ridiculous, dude.
It really just carried on way too much.
And that's it. That's the end of the movie. Him being flown away. And that's it. It just ends. And there's no more story here. They succeeded. They stopped the terrorists by taking them out over the water. When the bomb explodes and you see all the Fletchettes hit the ocean. And him and I made the same joke. Like, all those poor fish.
No, that's what you said. I said no fish were harmed making this movie.
Yeah, no fish were harmed in the making of this film. So that's it. Thoroughly, and I really do like this film. It's not like one of those. It's not the best John Frankenheimer film, but I consider it a good Frankenheimer film. I don't think he ever made a bad film.
It was something different for me because, yeah, we watched and discussed movies about terrorism, but doing it like this with a blimp, that was new. So very interesting. And the whole build up to this, I liked it.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to be reading that afterward. It's just like something just got thrown into my feed, and I just read. It just popped up, and it says Maxine Waters faces off with Trump admin guard. Are you prepared to stay here all night? Guard says, I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, it's there's a guard in front of the Department of Education, and Maxine Waters and a bunch of Democrats are like, hell no, we won't go. It's being cold here. Let us in, please. It's like, nope,
you are not going in there.
Nope.
Fritz Weaver was in the Twilight Zone episode, and yes, the Obsolete Man. He was a great character actor. He really was. She's good in this. Look, she was a good actress. And by the way, 80 years old. Go look up photos of her now, and she still looks beautiful. That doesn't always happen. You get some of those beautiful actresses from the 60s and 70s, and one of them was just a tan fanatic. She was always in the sun, and she looks like a fucking leather bag.
That's the problem.
Wrinkled and just.
I didn't do shit like that or cosmetic surgery. It's so rare that they age just gracefully and naturally. They're all good.
So Snort says they ate all the polar bears ate all the fish. They got blown up.
So it was for a good cause. Okay.
Except for dolphins played very. No one was injured in this the making of this film except for Rocky Blyer, who pissed blood after the game, which is true. Zeppelin went down like a lead Zeppelin. Actually, that's funny. He says that'll go over like a lead balloon, is what Keith Moon said. And that's where they got the name. Led Zeppelin, the band. So if you want to blame anybody, it's too bad he's dead. Bruce Dern was also great in Castle Keep. Gilf. 1960s and 70s movies where you can watch actresses looking mature, acting normal, and being real women, and not fucking having to act fake strong. Catherine Ross. Well, I like Catherine Ross. I don't know. What was it? What did you think I was talking about? What? I'm not sure what you're referring to.
The Tan Fanatic?
No. It's not. No, that's not Catherine Ross. Hold on. I'll find out who it is. I think it's Britt Eklund. This is who I'm talking about. I'm looking it up right now. Let's see if I can find a picture of her. Oh, yeah. Plus, she had plastic surgery. She was just fucking awful.
That's almost always a mistake.
She was so gorgeous, but it's not Britt Eklund either, but she does look bad. It was one of those northern Scandinavian European actresses from the 60s that when I saw her in a photo back in the 2000s, holy crap, she looked like a tanned fucking
Bridget Nielsen?
No, but good God, she looks awful.
She looks
does.
awful.
Oh God,
That's the booze with her.
Yeah.
That
The
actress
boobs
is
and the
surgery.
booze. Jesus.
She was here in Vienna a couple of years ago. She attended the opera ball. I was shocked to see her on TV.
She is a mess.
Bridget,
And she's
that's
been a
nice
mess
thing on her name.
for a very long time.
I like the spelling that Gambit is using here. It's Brigitte Nielsen, not Bridget, but that's funny.
See what the naval aviators had to say about how Catherine Ross acting when she was filming The Final Countdown. And the final countdown. What is it with you guys saying things that sound like songs? Shut up. Yeah, she was one of the villains in Beverly Hills Cop. Wait, was it 2 or 3?
Two.
Yeah,
Two,
it was
two,
2.
two.
It was 2. Yeah, the third one was in the park. Yeah. I still like that film. Tony Scott directed that.
You mean the Okie Dokie Shuffle? No, you
No,
don't
not
like
that
that
one.
movie.
I like the second one. The one with
Second
where
one
she
is good. Third one, only Tom Connors loves.
Yeah, Tom Connors loves that one. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. There was but there was some really goofy shit in that movie. But we all agreed that 4 was a bridge too far.
Was the dog shit?
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
It wasn't as terrible as it could have been, but it's awful. It's essentially the fourth one. Take out the daughter bit. It's essentially the first movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing the Judge Reynolds role, essentially. And Taggart replaces the captain, but also is so Jason.
Yeah, and I can't remember. But
Gordon
something
Levitt does
happened.
both Taggart and Billy at the same time, because what he does with Axel, it's sort of the same things that they did in the first movie. So
Yep. Yeah, it didn't make any sense to me. Yeah,
It
what
was
they ended up
essentially
having
the
him
first
do
movie.
just was ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So tomorrow we are doing Krull, guys.
Yes.
Liam Neeson's first film. And it's a fun film. I do like it. I think it falls apart in the third act. The minute they get to the castle and they have to deal with this creature, it kind of fell apart. But the build up to that was just great.
I mean, we're not doing Kroll. We're doing Romancing the Stone.
It's a good film. I like that movie.
It's one of Zemeckis' earlier films.
And by the way, romancing the stone is an old term used for when you put yourself into your own story. If you,
Mhm.
as a writer, it's called
Mhm.
romancing the stone. I sent you a photo of Brigitte Nelson from 2023. If it's on
Uh,
Facebook, I'm not going to see it because it fucks with the show. I can't open it during the show.
Why do you say her name like she's French?
Brigitte,
She's not.
It's Bridget.
Brigitte.
I've always
It's
said Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Isn't
Yeah.
she Dutch or something?
She
I
is
forgot.
from Denmark.
Denmark, yeah. I knew Scandinavian something.
Yeah,
A lot of people pronounce her name
something
French. I did
smells
find
in
that-
Denmark. Oh, but it's not Brigitte. She left.
Oh, we have that video here.
Oh, really?
I almost positive
Certain?
I saw it.
I'm looking. I'm trying to find it really quickly. Not so quickly, but
Yes,
wishing it
I
would
found
quickly.
it. I found it. Wow.
Where's it
Almost
at?
a minute. Here.
Hey, Claudius. You killed my father. Big mistake.
Should have said,
I love the Wilhelm scream.
no, that's not the Wilhelm.
That's not the
Well,
Wilhelm
that's a
stream.
TIE fighter. It's actually, I think that's the sound of a TIE fighter, which is
Yeah.
not a scream at all, but the sound of a 18-wheeler on concrete.
It's the sound of ultimate anguish, by the way, too.
It's
It's the same
Instead of-
scream from Princess Bride.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. But tomorrow we're doing Kroll. On Monday, we're going to be doing another war film on Military Monday. It will be Go Tell the Spartans with Burt Lancaster. He made two war films in the 60s. That was one of them.
I hope we're talking about conflict soon because, I forget things.
Yeah, I said that would be the following Monday. We'll do conflict.
Good.
I don't want any conflict over doing conflict. So everybody in the audience that's going to be joining us on Military Monday, if you can find a copy of Conflict, or as it's Conflicty with a K, Conflicty. Like, where's the K? The beginning of the word. Go Tell the Spartans. My father loved that movie.
Tell him what.
It's an anti-war film.
It's a snitching movie.
Well, it's actually a famous quote. I saw Go Tell the Spartans. It's very underrated.
Yes, William, Mark Singer is in that.
It's a great quote, but you also ruined the joke.
Tom, I deeply appreciate that, man. I'm glad you enjoy these. It's what we love doing, man. If I like to sit down, like Keith and I, the way we met, sitting down and just talking movies. This is just fun to me. If I could do this the rest of my life, and I die, the last thing I do before I die is talk about one of these shows and then kiss my woman. I'll have had a good day. I only threw that in because she's here. Don't tell her I said that.
Everybody knows that.
Thank you, Gambit.
Thank you,
Adam,
Gary. I
Gary
appreciate
said not to tell you that.
it. Hey, Narc.
Let's get out of here.
Next time,
Sorry.
don't ruin my joke. And it's 1 a.m., so go.
Yeah, midnight here, so let's wrap.
Mark Singer, good actor. Not great, but good actor. We will be doing one of his films for our fantasy thing. Tomorrow's one of our fantasy shows, 80s Fantasy. So you will hear the theme song for 80s Fantasy tomorrow. And then when we do that one with the Beastmaster, we will do it. Him and his little, what are those things? Ferrets. His two little ferrets. That, like, they're fucking weapons too. It's fucking goofy.
Kodo and Podo, if I remember correctly.
They did a parody of it with Kung Pao, where the guy turns them into nunchucks.
Damn it, Matthew made me yawn. And my cat yawned too.
What do you want? That's why I've been turning on and off my camera. I'm coughing like a madman over here.
Oh, man, I'm sorry you're not feeling good.
We have bad air quality here. We for over a week now, so
No, I've been sick. Can't you tell?
No.
I know you're demented, but I didn't know you were sick.
No, I've been sick in my head for my entire life. That's one thing. No, and my nose is cluttered and my throat is killing me.
Tim, for your little back door, you get the special. Are you ready?
The Back Door by Kinsey Mazing. Some people are scared to enter the back door. It's an area many have yet to explore. The front door might be nice and easy, but the back door can be just as breezy. The back door might seem dark and scary, but there's no reason to be wary. The back door might be overgrown and bushy, so sometimes you have to be extra pushy. Just shove those bushes to the side and let the back door open wide. Without much use, that back door might need some extra juice. Don't be alarmed if it has a smell. Just be sure to wash it well. All your friends use the back door. The front door can be such a bore. Entering through the back door can be exciting. You won't know until you've tried it. So the next time you have to decide, just use that back door and come inside.
Real book, by the way.
It's the adult children's books.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about it in the chat the other night up on Twitter. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's her. That's the same woman. Yeah. I love the way she reads them.
And then you have moms all over Amazon giving 1-star ratings because they thought they were children's books.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Click through a book before you give it to your fucking kid. Come on.
And I want to buy a few of those books.
It's on Amazon.
I want to buy them for the show. I thought it'd be funny. The back door one is one I want to buy, so I can pull it up and read it for myself instead of just playing her video.
Obviously,
says, I'm finding out way too much about this backdoor thing.
Welcome, Smitty.
I learned. Look, I didn't like it the first time the joke was made because I understood what Paulie was saying, but then it got turned into this thing, and I didn't like it. I kind of like, I don't like this, and I didn't like it even more when Mikey, Mike Canal, Mexican Iron Man, rejected it. He goes, I don't like this, and he goes, you guys should stop doing. But man, look, Six and fucking Zax, the two of Six and Zax, say that a billion times. Six and Zax went out there and fucking hashtagged it all over the place, and it became a thing. And I finally realized I was like that character in Family Guy during the scene where Peter Griffin, it's the first Christmas episode, where he says that's when Jesus came back from the dead and began feasting on the brains of the living. Yeah. And there's this Christian. He goes, as a Christian, I find that really offensive. I guess I'm just going to have to develop a sense of humor. And that's what I kind of said to myself. I guess I just need it. And so I just ended up just embracing it. And I find it funny as hell. And boy, when I go on Toxic Tuesday, Jesus, man, it's like Nick is on it. Because he calls me Backdoor Geary, Backdoor Jagiri,
Gary, it's 1 a.m. Shut it
Satan.
down.
Yes, Satan.
Thanks, Mephisto. He never listens to me. Maybe he listens to
Hey, this coming from the girl that says I'm okay with starting the show at 4 o'clock when Cameron comes on.
That's when I'm on vacation.
You don't.
That's when Jesus.
This
Christ.
episode is brought to you by Cross-Dressing Gary. Cross-Dressing Gary. Oh, wait, no, that's Armor.
That looks like Shadiversity.
A little bit, yes.
And this episode was approved by Father Weems. Aye, that's a really good show, son.
The what?
Yeah, that's a great show, son.
I hate that guy.
I hate that guy. So we're gonna get the fuck out of here. We're over by 9 minutes. So this is when Mephisto and Animus start getting whiny at the end of the show.
Oh, fuck off.
Dude, look at the time for them.
I know. I just love to fuck with them. All right. That would freak me out. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. Tom Baker, Gambit, Real Wade, Penny, Regis, but he says it's Regis. Christian Delorme, my good friend. Andy Morrow. I think I'm going to be hanging out with Christian this Sunday after Anima goes to bed. Andy Morrow, Colonel Stauffenberg, Paul Smith, Happy in Hell Place, Snorty was here, Snortopopus Cuber, FK's 2005, and of course, William Blake Hall. Thanks everybody for being here. Enjoy all the comments. Great chat. Simply, in my opinion, the best chat in all of our community. It's the ones that hang out on this show. So,
Boss,
yeah.
Give me 5 seconds before we go.
You take a hell of a long time to say goodbye.
How dare you!
I threw that one at you. All right, where's the end video? Did you move us into another studio? You did.
Yes.
You ass.
I am the law.
It's
Okay.
Oh, there, finally moved me. All right, there we go. We're the fuck out of here. Bye, guys.
Man, I thought this shit show would never end.
The funny part is, this is the extra long ending song. This is the 20-minute play.